Do you know that a person's ego is their biggest enemy? If one starts seeing it as their self-respect, the consequences can be even more disastrous. No matter how much one regrets later, things do not change. In today's case, we will talk about relationships that were shattered in an instant, leading to unimaginable consequences. Hello friends, how are you all? Today we will discuss the Amrutha Pranay case. This incident begins in Miryalaguda, a locality in Nalgonda district, Telangana. Near this area, there is a locality called Muthireddy Kunta. A 21-year-old girl named Amrutha Varshini Rao lived here. She belonged to a well-off family. Her father was a renowned personality in the city. Amrutha started her early education at a reputed school called Kakatiya Concept School, located on Old Railway Station Road in Miryalaguda. When she was in the 9th grade, a senior student from her school became her friend. They already knew each other because the boy was also from the same locality, Muthireddy Kunta in Miryalaguda. This boy's name was Perumala Pranay Kumar. His father held a respectable position in LIC. Amrutha and Pranay started talking in school, and their friendship deepened over time. Later, for higher education, Amrutha moved to Hyderabad to pursue a B.Tech degree at the International Institute of Fashion Design. This was a 4-year undergraduate course. Pranay also moved to Hyderabad to study engineering at Srinidhi Institute of Science and Technology. Both were in an unfamiliar city, away from their hometown. Having come from the same locality and studied in the same school, their bond grew stronger in Hyderabad. Their deep friendship eventually turned into love. However, their families never accepted their relationship. Amrutha's parents wanted her to marry someone of their choice, but decided to wait until she completed her studies. Similarly, Pranay's family also disapproved of their relationship. By 2017, Amrutha's father realized that his daughter was not willing to give up on Pranay. Understanding that their relationship had grown serious, he forcibly stopped her studies and brought her back to Miryalaguda, hoping to get her married off soon. When Amrutha learned about her parents' plan, she contacted Pranay in the last week of January 2018. She told him that she would rather die than marry someone else. The two then made a plan. On January 30th, 2018, when her father was away in Hyderabad for work and her mother was asleep in her room, Amrutha packed her belongings. At that time, even the house staff were not around. Seizing the opportunity, she ran away. Pranay was waiting outside with a vehicle, and together they fled to Hyderabad. Upon reaching Hyderabad, they got married at an Arya Samaj temple in Lakshmi Nagar. Their families had no clue about this development. When Amrutha's parents discovered that she was missing, her father lodged a missing complaint at the police station. He also accused Pranay of kidnapping their daughter. The police started their investigation and soon traced the couple. They were brought back to Miryalaguda. In front of the police, Amrutha firmly stated that she was not a minor and was over 18 years old. She declared that she had married Pranay of her own free will and had every right to live with him. She refused to return to her parental home, despite her father's pleas. After this, Pranay took Amrutha to his parents' house, which was just a few streets away from hers. However, Pranay's parents also opposed their marriage and tried to send Amrutha back to her home. But Amrutha refused. She insisted that she could not live without Pranay. In the end, Amrita's persistence led Pranay's parents to accept her as their daughter-in-law. Meanwhile, Pranay's family discovered that Amrutha was several months pregnant, which became another reason for them to accept her. After all, where else would she go? Eventually, the family happily welcomed both of them. On August 17, 2018, Pranay's parents hosted a grand reception for the couple. Many people attended the function, enjoying the food and festivities. Since Amrutha was expecting Pranay's child, she frequently visited the hospital for checkups. Pranay and his family took full responsibility for her, ensuring she received proper medical care. Now let's move to the date, September 14, 2018. During this time, Amrutha was feeling unwell and she needed a pregnancy checkup. That morning, Pranay, his mother Pramalatha, and Amrutha visited Jyoti Hospital. After completing the checkup at around 1:30 p.m., They were on their way back home when an unknown man approached from behind with a weapon and attacked Pranay twice. The assailant then fled on his scooter. In front of a 5-month pregnant woman and a mother, Pranay was brutally murdered. Why did this man kill Pranay? As seen in the CCTV footage, the attacker targeted only Pranay despite having the opportunity to attack Amrutha and Pranay as well. Why did he spare them? What grudge did he hold against Pranay alone? Pranay's parents directly accused Amrita's father, Tirunagar Maruthi Rao, of orchestrating their son's murder. They lodged a complaint at Miryalaguda Town Police Station, invoking IPC Sections 302, 120B, and 34, along with certain sections of the SC/ST Act, as Pranay belonged to the Dalit community. This incident, which occurred in broad daylight, quickly gained traction in news and social media. CCTV footage of the murder went viral. Dalit unions, political figures, and numerous other supporters stood in solidarity with Pranay's family. The next day, protests erupted, and the entire city came to a standstill, demanding justice for Pranay. The public called for the immediate arrest and punishment of the culprits. Questions arose about the failure of law enforcement and the diminishing fear of the law among criminals. Under immense pressure, the police formed multiple investigative teams. The Superintendent of Police SP of Nalgonda personally took charge of the case. Authorities began questioning both Amrita's and Pranay's families. Meanwhile, Amrita, in shock, was hospitalized as her blood pressure surged. Doctors worked to stabilize her condition. Pranay's close associates suspected Maruthi Rao's involvement in the murder. Maruthi Rao, a well-known real estate developer and businessman, held significant influence in his city. He had started his career 25 years ago selling ration supplies and dealing in kerosene oil. Over time, he expanded his network among prominent individuals and ventured into real estate, constructing numerous residential properties and shopping malls. Reports indicated that he had amassed assets worth nearly 200 crores. Maruthi Rao had always opposed Amrita's relationship with Pranay. While Amrita's mother, Girija Rani, shared a good bond with her daughter, the same could not be said about her father. When Pranay was murdered, Amrita remained unconscious in the hospital for 2 days. Upon regaining consciousness, the police informed her about the tragedy. Amrita accused not only her father, Maruthi Rao, but also her uncle, T. Shravan Rao. She revealed that her father and uncle had imposed strict restrictions on her since childhood, forbidding interactions with people from different religions or lower castes. She was even prohibited from making female friends. However, Amrita did not believe in these discriminatory ideologies. She considered everyone equal. Her friendship with Pranay began during school, and when Maruthi Rao learned about it, he immediately withdrew her from school. Even during her intermediate education, she was not allowed to attend classes. Instead, she was made to take exams from home. Despite these restrictions, Amrita and Pranay managed to meet. One day, when they went to watch a movie at Raghav Talkies in Miryalaguda, Maruthi Rao and Shravan arrived at the theater, forcefully took Amrita home, and locked her in a room. Her uncle brutally beat her with a dumbbell and a stick. They even prevented her from talking to her cousins and completely restricted her movements. Later, they summoned Pranay's family and threatened them, leading Pranay to distance himself from Amrita for some time. Pranay came from a simple lower middle-class family, while Amrita belonged to a wealthy and influential background. Despite all obstacles, Amrita did not give up on Pranay. According to Pranay's father, Amrita once told Pranay that if he didn't marry her, she would end her life. Eventually, they eloped and got married. After their marriage, Maruthi Rao repeatedly threatened Pranay's father, warning him to keep his son away from Amrita or face dire consequences. Pranay's father tried to convince his son, but he refused to leave Amrita. Furious over their marriage, Maruthi Rao disowned Amrita and made his younger brother, Shravan Kumar, the heir to his property. Amrita found love and care at Pranay's home, something she lacked in her own house. Although she maintained contact with her mother over the phone, she refused to return home. Reports suggest that Maruthi Rao once offered Pranay a huge sum of money, 3 crore, to leave Amrita and terminate the pregnancy, but Pranay declined. Amrita was also approached with a similar offer, being promised an inheritance if she left Pranay and the child. She refused, choosing love over wealth. Amrutha Rao even sought the help of influential politicians to convince Amrutha, but she stood firm in her decision. Pranay and Amrutha, fearing for their lives, approached the police for protection. A senior officer advised Amrutha Rao to stop interfering, as Amrutha, being an adult, had the right to choose her partner. The police also recommended that Pranay's family install CCTV cameras for security. Following Pranay's murder, when the police interrogated Amrutha Rao, he denied all allegations, claiming he had no knowledge of the crime. On the day of the murder, he was reportedly seen leaving the town in his car at around 1 p.m. He visited the Joint Collector's office in Nalgonda, met the District Deputy SP, and discussed festival-related matters with an RDO officer. Given these official meetings, it seemed illogical for him to be involved in a murder during that time. However, the police continued their investigation, analyzing Amrutha Rao's call records and tracking his movements in the months leading up to the incident. During their probe, a crucial name surfaced: Abdul Karim, a well-known transport businessman and the Congress president of Miryalaguda town. During the investigation, the police discovered another suspicious man, Ajgar Ali. Let us inform you that Haran Pandya, the former Home Minister of Gujarat, was murdered in 2003. Ajgar Ali's name also surfaced in that case. He was even accused of having connections with ISI. However, the Gujarat High Court acquitted him from the Haran Pandya case due to a lack of solid evidence. This man resided in Nalgonda district. The police systematically apprehended all three suspects and interrogated them in their own way. Eventually, Amrutha Rao confessed that he had orchestrated Pranay's murder. By September 18th, the police had arrested 7 out of 8 accused. The accused included: accused number 1, Amrutha's father, Amrutha Rao; accused number 3, Ajgar Ali; accused number 4, Ajgar's associate, Abdul Bari; accused number 5, Abdul Karim, a Congress leader and businessman; accused number 6, Amrutha's younger brother, Shravan Kumar; accused number 7, Amrutha's driver, Samudra Shiva; accused number 8, another suspicious individual, M.A. Nizam; accused number 2, the man who directly attacked Pranay, Subhash Sharma, a resident of Samastipur, Bihar. After committing the murder, Subhash Sharma fled on a scooter, passing through various toll plazas and heading toward Patna, Bihar. Meanwhile, the police apprehended the rest of the accused and held a press conference to reveal the details. Amrutha Rao had paid a contract killing fee of 1 crore for Pranay's murder. He first approached Abdul Karim, who then introduced him to Ajgar Ali and Abdul Bari. These two, in turn, got in touch with Subhash Sharma, a professional contract killer. The planning for the murder started around June-July 2018. Pranay's murder was attempted 4 times before it was successfully executed on September 14th. First attempt, August 14. Pranay had gone to pick up his wife, Amrutha, from a beauty parlor. Subhash saw 2 young men and got confused about the target, leading to the plan being called off. Second attempt, post-reception. The plan was abandoned due to poor execution. Third and fourth attempts both failed due to various circumstances. Fifth attempt, September 14. Finally, the murder was successfully carried out. Amrutha Rao, deeply rooted in caste pride, believed he belonged to a superior caste and could not accept his daughter marrying a Dalit Christian. He felt his honor was tarnished and decided to eliminate Pranay to restore his pride. Amrutha Rao sold some of his land through his brother Shravan and arranged 1 crore. Initially, the contract price was set at 2.5 crores, but later it was fixed at 1 crore. The distribution was as follows: 8 lakh to Abdul Bari, Arsan lakh to Ajgar Ali, 5 lakh to Abdul Karim. The rest was to be paid after the task was completed. The police recovered the murder weapon and conducted forensic and technical investigations, including call detail records and location tracking. On the day of the murder, unexpected delays occurred, causing the execution to be postponed slightly. The police investigated 102 individuals and compiled a 1,600-page charge sheet, which was submitted to the Nalgonda Special SCST Court on June 12, 2019. The trial began, and meanwhile, the Telangana Rashtra Samiti government offered Amrutha 8 lakh, a government job, a house, and agricultural land as compensation. However, Amrutha and Pranay's family refused everything except the funeral assistance of 5 lakh, demanding only justice. In January 2019, Amrutha gave birth to a baby boy. She continued to live with Pranay's parents, who embraced her as their daughter, not just a daughter-in-law. Due to delays in filing the charge sheet, some accused benefited. On April 27, 2019, within 6 months of arrest, Maruthi Rao, Abdul Karim, and Shravan were granted bail. Subsequently, a shocking event occurred. On March 7, 2020, Maruthi Rao, out on bail, resumed his routine. That evening, he checked into Arya Vishyabhavan Lodge in Khairatabad, Hyderabad, booking room 306 on the 3rd floor. He was accompanied by his driver and made normal phone calls to his wife, business associates, and friends. He even stepped out for dinner around 8:30 p.m. Maruthi knew the case was not in his favor and had an appointment with a high court lawyer the next morning. He told his driver to be ready at 8:30 a.m. However, the following morning, he did not open his door. His driver repeatedly knocked and called him. Eventually, his wife was informed, and the lodge staff was alerted. When the door was forced open, Maruthi Rao was found dead. He had consumed poison, which he had procured from a friend's fertilizer shop. The body was sent for post-mortem at Osmania Hospital, where the autopsy confirmed poisoning as the cause of death, with no external injuries. Maruthi Rao feared public disgrace. He had pleaded with Amrutha to withdraw the case, but she stood firm on seeking justice. Unable to face the consequences, he took this extreme step. Before dying, he left a note apologizing to Amrutha and instructing her to stay with her mother. During the funeral, Amrutha arrived under police protection, but angry relatives prevented her from attending. She was accused of being responsible for his death and had to leave without witnessing the final rites. Amrutha later expressed doubts, claiming her father would not have taken his own life willingly. She suspected pressure from her uncle over property matters. However, Shravan dismissed these allegations, stating Maruthi acted out of depression and family dishonor. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the trial was temporarily halted but later resumed. In November 2024, even Subhash Sharma was granted bail. Most of the accused are now out on bail, and the court proceedings are ongoing. Pranay had a younger brother studying medicine in Ukraine who vowed to stand by Amrutha as his sister. On Raksha Bandhan, he tied a Rakhi on her wrist as a symbol of their bond. Amrutha stated that Pranay's mother could stay with her if she wished, but she would never step foot in her father's house again. Pranay and Amrutha had initially planned to complete their studies and move to the United States, but circumstances forced them to marry earlier than expected. Many organizations and activists support Amrutha in her fight for justice. She remains determined to ensure that every conspirator and murderer receives the punishment they deserve. This concludes the case. Share your thoughts in the comments, like and share this video, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon for updates. See you in the next video. Thank you.